Yeah.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're good. Apparently. So.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Looks like we are. Freaking craziness. So. I think it was, of course, welcome back. I mean, it's been a minute. We've had a lot of real life shit kind of get in the way, and we couldn't really get at trying to record stuff out there. So James been pumping out the shorts, and that's about.
Trying to. I ran out.
You ran out.
Yeah. I ran out last week.
Yeah, it's about all we could do. But either way, I mean, it's been a crazy couple weeks. So, I mean, the Trump administration ran off like the starting gunshot at a freaking 100-meter race. You know.
Yeah.
It's been fast-paced, breakneck speed. I think they fully understand, they fully grasp the fact that they have 2 years to show and prove.
Right.
And take advantage of this majority that they're enjoying right now, and they're wanting to do about as much as they can to kind of reverse the tracks on this crazy train, you know. And it's been insane. The stuff that's been coming out from DOGE, they've been feeding updates to the American people pretty consistent. If you guys ever get a chance to go hit up freaking DOGE.org, the list of all the nonsense is I mean, it's we could be discussing those line items for 5 hours, 6 hours, probably more. I mean, it'd be 2 episodes of discussing some of that nonsense. Yeah. So I mean, I've scoured.
That was the first place they started, USAID, right?
USAID is where they first started, and they just started going down the line from there, man, just going everywhere.
So what is USAID? What do they do?
So USAID was deceptively named USAID, but it's actually
USAID.
But yeah.
So on the face they provide aid, right?
They actually highlighted their logo was made deceptively, and it actually doesn't stand for aid. It's just it's the United States Agency for International Development.
Right.
It's not aid per se. They do a bunch of stuff, and amongst the things that they do is they also they spend money into these governments in these countries that are simpatico towards the U.S. Or whatever we can get something out of, and they promote freaking programs. Some of them are really good. Some of them make sense to help out these nations in. It's just like little items that a nation can't handle that are important.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it's just a bunch of shenanigans and a bunch of nonsense that they do. And they do a lot of influence peddling and a lot of freaking influence regime change type stuff. Like they'll pump money into agencies within that government to help freaking push out presidents or dictators that they don't like, and they fund all kinds of freaking weird programs in those countries, and it's a problem. I mean, they worked in Haiti for about 50 years or so to apparently help it become more stable and prosperous and all that nonsense, and never achieved any of that. Then they funneled money to the Clinton Foundation, who was supposed to set up some infrastructure building down there, and apparently that never got done. the funding for reconstruction and development of Haiti is an ongoing thing. It's been going on for fucking decades, and nothing's been done. They built like 2 houses down there, and the place is falling apart. Now it's ran by some dude named Barbecue, and because he apparently eats people, and
I've heard of that guy. Yeah.
It's in even the Barbecue dude is saying that no, I don't eat people. I don't know what they call me that, but whatever.
Okay.
It's
what was that guy? Like, I don't know, was it Uganda or Rwanda? Like, it was
Idi Amin.
No, General Butt Naked.
General Butt Naked.
Yeah. You remember that guy?
No.
Well, why do they call him Butt Naked? Why? Because right before he gets into a fight, he gets really, really high, takes off all his clothes, and he fights butt naked.
They don't tell you. Yeah, they're not real crafty with their nicknames, so they call you.
Like the old pirate days.
Yeah.
Oh, peg leg. Why do you call him that? He's like a fucking peg leg.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Barbecue, yeah, because he probably
barbecues people.
Fucking cooks people before he eats them. So, it's, yeah. There's a lot, going on with USAID. I mean, it's, the list is astronomical. It was so much that, they decided to tear that agency down. And...
Yeah, from what I heard, they got rid of 60% at least.
Yeah, they rolled some of the programs that were useful. They rolled them into State Department.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, it's it's done. It's they just grabbed it and ditched it. You know what I mean? So there's not much to it. A lot of people have been what's crazy is the Democrats pushing back on some of this, and the pushback has been, I think one of the, what's her name from, there's I wouldn't say she's a comedian, but Kat from Kat Timpf put out a video. She's a columnist, pretty funny girl. She put out a video a video got snipped from her program with Greg Gutfeld on Fox, and she's like, it's equivalent to a girl going through a guy's phone, finding out that he's cheating, dumping the guy, and then the guy blaming her for looking through the phone.
Yeah.
And
yeah, what it pretty much boils down to.
It's
I remember talking to somebody else about it. Like, it's amazing to see all this going on, all the pushback from just on the Democrat side.
Yeah,
as the Republicans are pretty much falling in line with it, and you got Elon Musk, who's been appointed the head of DOGE, with Vivek Ramaswamy, who's second in charge of this shit.
Well, he moved on.
Did he now?
Yeah, he moved on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, you got Elon Musk heading up this stuff, and it's Department of Government Efficiency on its face. That's what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They're going through line item every one of these agencies and seeing where the spending is going on and what's unnecessary and what is necessary, and a lot of it's unnecessary. I mean, for right now, they've been doing this shit for 3 weeks now, and they've already fucking covered $600 billion of unnecessary spending. That's a shit. That's a fucking lot. Yeah. And you got the Democrats coming back, pushing back. It's like, no, you can't do this. This is our fucking... So in other words, hey, everybody, you asked us to fucking look into corruption and corrupt government agencies and see what the fuck's going on. Here, on its face, is the corrupt shit that's going on. And the Democrats like, no, you need to get off that. What the fuck? How did it get... What the fuck? Uncovering corrupt shit, and you want us to fucking stop? Mm-hmm. Why?
So, many of our viewers and our future viewers, we're all pretty much in the same... economical demographic. We have full-time jobs.
I'd assume so.
We're not making any sponsorship money or anything like that. We're not sitting, we're not just, we're not even influencers. We barely have 100 followers. You know what I mean? So it's
among all platforms.
So it's
like X, we got 50, and YouTube we got 100.
Yeah, it's it's a small little thing we got. It's kind of a hobby and just whatever, just talking.
But what we can tell you is that this show is entirely state funded. Entirely.
Explain.
Because we both make taxpayer dollars.
Yeah. Yeah.
We get paid by government agencies,
Well, true. But
municipalities. So
oh yeah, I mean, either way, it's
it's my way of thinking about it.
yeah, you can think it's not wrong.
Your tax dollars paid for the show.
Yeah, got me. Yeah, sure. But
I earned your damn tax dollars, and I spent the money on the show. So.
true. So, but it's we can all agree. Well, we should all agree that some of these things are just egregious freaking misallocation of funds and misuse and fraud, waste, and abuse, as they're saying. Like, for instance, $750,000 to study if the moon landing, quote, that line, one step for man, one giant leap for mankind. See if the quote was one step for man or one small step for a man.
That's what I was always told in school. The quote was actually one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind, because the radio transmission kind of skipped over A.
Well,
so it became one small step for man.
$750,000 went into a study to determine whether...
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
This happened in the 1960s.
Guess what? Guess what the result of that study was? It's inconclusive.
Inconclusive? Yeah.
$750,000 is wasted on that. How many of you guys out there and gals could use part of that money to freaking pay bills, help out with your mortgage, help out, you know what I mean? Like, it's insane. $100,000 to study if tequila makes sunfish more aggressive. Tequila or gin? Which one makes
Are we
fish?
dumping alcohol?
I don't know how they're actually executing it, but you know,
as far as I understand, sunfish are fucking huge.
You know, $1.5 million to expand the video game industry in New York.
Well, for?
You know,
it's already pretty big.
It's you know, $289,000 to increase diversity in bird watching groups.
Diversity in bird watching groups.
Yeah, apparently too many white people are looking at birds.
And I don't know why. I'm white as fuck. I have no idea why people look at birds of any color, person or any color bird. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I like the way birds fly. I think it's cool, but I'm not gonna sit out there with a pair of binoculars and a fucking boonie cap and be like, "Oh shit, there's a rare, you know, Piccadilly fucking beak." I don't know.
Yeah. Well. $289,000 to increase diversity in that hobby.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
That's great though. Was it successful? Did we get more black people out there?
No.
No.
No. No. It's like another $20 million went into licensing fees for a green camouflage pattern for the Afghan National Army.
Why? The Taliban?
Well, now.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? Like, the National Comedy Center in Jamestown, New York, received $1.7 million grant for holograms of dead comedians. You know what I mean? Like,
why?
$516,000 on the effects of racism on brain and pathways on the brain. Effects on racism on the brain and pathways to help the health disparages. Yeah, it's $611,000 to evaluate the effects of microaggressions. Microaggressions among Latinx individuals with obesity.
Oh, fucking specific with that one then. Latinx individuals with obesity.
First off, nobody gives a fuck about what that term means.
Latinx? No.
I'm Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck a Latinx means. I know what they try to get at.
Every person that I know that is of Hispanic descent doesn't give a fuck about Latinx. They are Honduran, they are Puerto Rican, they are Mexican. Even the Mexicans will break it down to what state they're from.
It's just fucking bonkers. You know?
The South Americans, same thing. Some Brazilian.
Six
From
point
Argentina.
nine. Six
You mean
point
you're fucking
nine.
German?
$6.9 million went to develop a smart toilet that will recognize the patterns of your anus.
A what toilet?
Smart toilet.
Smart toilet. I thought you said Spark.
Smart toilet
Spark would have been a lot funnier.
that recognize the user's anal print.
I heard it's unique. You'll be using like butthole identification more than retinal scans. Now it'll be rectal scans.
$6.9 million.
Been on to see a butthole. God, that's just gonna be even weirder.
I mean,
Here, put your butthole print right here. You gotta get ink on your fucking starfish. Or do you could just use shit.
I don't know. I don't know how you take that fingerprint thing with the little roller thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you gotta make a small one, you know.
Or do you? Because I mean,
So
you gotta be prolapsed to put a print on paper. You know what I mean?
Well, let's get started. First stop is the Marine Corps. Get your prolapse.
It's. I mean, 419,000 to determine if lonely rats sought cocaine at a greater frequency than happy rats.
They just wanted to buy cocaine and say it's for research purposes.
Look, man, I wish I was making this up, man.
That's what that is. That some fucking dickhead's got a good idea. It's like, I guarantee you I can get the government to pay for our cocaine for the next 6 months. So shut the fuck up. It's like, bet, motherfucker.
Do you remember?
And he got it.
He got it.
How much was that one? The cocaine rats?
419,000.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That's a lot of cocaine.
That's a lot of coke.
That's a lot of cocaine, man.
I mean, you're looking at the heyday when 16 a key. You look at government prices, so it's probably way less than that.
You're buying bulk, man.
Yeah, well, it's pure stuff.
Yeah.
It's no fentanyl in that.
You gotta cut that shit down.
I mean, dude. Yeah.
It's a vitamin B12.
I mean, they did. The NIH apparently did a similar study that cost about $2.3 million in dogs. Injecting them with cocaine, and this is, I mean,
Jesus.
Another $75,000 went to Harvard to study freaking how lizards survive freaking hurricane winds. They fucking put a lizard on on a pole and freaking hit it with a leaf blower. I shit you not. I'm not making it up. That's the video of the actual test. A leaf blower. They didn't put it in a wind tunnel where Boeing fucking
measure the
checks fucking for aerodynamics, aerodynamics and no. They didn't, a fucking leaf blower, bro. They fucking went outside, told Julio, hey bro, here's some money, let me borrow that for a minute, and they fucking went and blew some air on our lizard. Dude, this is legit. You remember when you may have seen it on cable TV when you were a kid, but maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just dating myself. But there was a guy that used to dress like the Riddler on national TV. Like, used to have a fucking jacket with question marks.
Mm-hmm.
They used to sell these programs that were in books about government grants.
Yes.
Remember that?
I do remember that.
Used to wear glasses.
Yeah.
And used to fucking talk all quirky and whatever. That dude's still alive, by the way. But it's there's a reason that guy's been telling us this bullshit's been going on since the early 90s, because all those government grants, dude, people were getting, he wasn't lying, he was selling.
I remember there's no stuff coming out about that guy. It's like, as crazy as he might have seemed, like, he was legit.
He was legit.
Those grants are actual grant programs that you can apply for.
They're actual grant programs you can apply for. And
when you're going to get the grant or not, that's up to a government committee.
But you sure as hell ain't getting that now. I mean,
fuck no.
It's we're paying for border security in other countries. Of course, it was like at least $2.1 million on border security in Paraguay. That kind of shit. Of course, everybody knows the famous one, the $20 million that went to a similar show for Sesame Street in Iraq. So it's I mean, there's a God, man. It's a lot, man. I mean, you're talking about $10,000 for gay cabarets. $8 million on subscriptions. So this is how the government subsidized CNN, Politico, and some of these other, and NPR. So what they did is they purchased the subscribers, the subscriptions, at the tune of $8 million worth of subscriptions. So they paid for the Plus memberships and whatever. That's how those fucking networks stayed alive.
Right.
With those ghost subscriptions, it was a government fucking swipe. Like, we're $8 million in subscriptions. We're not giving you the money for operating, but we're buying these subscriptions,
right.
And now you can operate.
Right.
Now, we know that these are the same networks that push push all the disinformation that they then try to accuse everybody else of. You know, the freaking laptop, the COVID vaccines, all the freaking things that we now know are false. The freaking the villainizing of ivermectin and other freaking methods that could help out freaking people with COVID. It's all that bullshit was sponsored by the government through subscription funds to major news carriers that of course carried the message. You know, as you do, you get paid for it. So they paid for those. That's bonkers. So that also went away. It's I mean the list just keeps going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
And going
to the point now where they've uncovered so much money in the short time they've been doing it. They've been toiling. I've heard this much. They've been toiling with the idea of reissuing money back to every taxpayer to the tune of about $5,000. $5,000 per taxpayer.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are in the United States?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's a drop in the ocean because right now, every taxpayer is basically in debt by $323,047. So, in every single U.S. citizen would be, you know, of any age. This is every U.S. citizen, man, woman, and child, is basically born in debt already at the tune of $107,288. So, I mean, the U.S. national debt is climbing at, I mean, I just watched it go 100,000 like it ain't nothing. 2 seconds. 3, 4. That's 400,000. 5, 6.
A national debt
7.
clock.
That's a national debt clock.
Yeah.
So now, at the same time, the DOGE clock is moving at a little bit faster pace, and it's trying to freaking basically working against the national debt clock a little bit, you know, and it's sitting at I think it's $129 billion, 410 million, about 411 million, and then the rest is incalculable because it's moving so fast. But it's you know, our national debt's outpacing our gross domestic product by 10 trillion. You know, it's
right.
People need to get it out of their heads. We have no money. All right.
Yeah, we're in debt to the tune of trillions of dollars.
We have no money.
Yeah.
I think we have a cap on how much more we can get out from the Fed.
They keep increasing it every year.
They keep increasing it, but I think the debt ceiling is sitting at another 8 or 9 trillion dollars. Don't quote me on that.
They keep increasing it every year.
But but it's you know, it's insane. And if you want, go on usdebtclock.org and watch this alarming indictment of the federal government and what they've been up to for the last freaking forever. Because this is the only administration I have ever seen, and probably anybody's ever seen since the first administrations to ever run this country, that is trying to do something, because people keep blaming, oh, well, it's a billionaire in charge of blah, blah, blah. It's like, look, that billionaire doesn't have anything either if this shit fucking goes tits up. So this is everybody trying to save everybody. And
well, that billionaire that has like nothing to gain by doing
nothing
this.
to gain by freaking doing any of this. He's doing the shit. He is doing this shit for free. He's his employees, of course, are paid, and they don't come cheap. But I mean, you're trying to audit one of the biggest rackets, money laundering rackets, the history of the planet. And the more it gets uncovered, the more you realize how senseless it is for things not to get done, like helping the people in Lahaina, or helping the people in North Carolina, helping the people, freaking hell, Katrina, helping the people, in Florida, helping the people, that gone through the Flint, Michigan, freaking Palestine, not Palestine overseas, because that doesn't exist. It's not a country, but Palestine in the United States that had the freaking derailment, with the chemicals and all that nonsense. It makes no sense that these people don't get the aid that they were supposed to be getting. And then when you look at all the bullshit that they're spending money on, you're like, well, no wonder they don't have the money, because they're allocating fucking funds to Drag Queen Story Hour and fucking wherever, or DEI initiatives in fucking Burma. Can anybody tell me who else lives in Burma other than Burmese people? What diversity, equity, and inclusion of motherfucking who? There's no more Asians there. They're all the same race. They're not a melting pot of anything.
I wish people would understand. It's like there's only a few melting pot countries in the world. Most countries are monochromatic.
Yeah, monochromatic.
Most of the African countries are black, or they are North African, which means they're pretty close to Arab.
Right.
Fucking the Arab countries are, guess what? Fucking Arabs. Oh. The Asian countries are Asian. The fucking Caucasian countries are, for the most part, Caucasian, but that's the only place where you actually find melting pot countries, is in Northern Europe, Western Europe, and the United States. The only other country that I can think of is even close to kind of a melting pot is Argentina, and that's only a melting pot with South American natives, Spanish, and Germans. Because a lot of the Germans went there after World War II. That's the only real melting pot I can think of that's at this side of the fucking planet.
Ironically, a lot of Jews too. Yeah. So don't ask me why. But
Canada is a melting pot country. The United States is a melting pot country. The UK is a melting pot country. France is a melting pot country, and that's really it. Germany more recently than most, but they're not that much of a melting pot country. But I mean, all these other countries, they're pretty monochromatic. They got one race of people or one religion of people, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't.
Russia is more fucking melting pot than most other countries, just because it spans that many different demographics. It's not because they imported them or they people immigrated there. No, Russia, the territory, just spans that many different backgrounds of people.
It's insanity. Some of these initiatives, like, what are you promoting? What are you promoting? Diversity, equity, and inclusion in a country that doesn't have any other race. They're monochromatic, like James said. Nobody else, for the most part, like other diverse populations number in the zeros of percents.
Right.
Like, it don't make any sense.
I know I didn't mention some countries, because I'm missing like a lot of the Caribbean countries.
Well, yeah,
because they were directly a result of the
colonization,
transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of black people, a lot of African slaves that were dropped off in those Caribbean countries that now they became a melting pot. But it's really just a melting pot between the natives, the black slaves that had no choice in the matter, and the Spanish.
Yeah. It's just baffling. Like, how does any of this stuff forward, like, helps the American agenda in anything, in any aspect? It doesn't.
The only thing it does is what it it's a trade of, I want to use the right words, but kind of like a trade of respect or a trade of like notoriety with the United Nations. because the United States putting money towards that is convincing another country to put money towards something else that the United States actually does give a shit about. But the United States can't be seen funding because of one reason or another.
Right.
So,
I mean,
that's usually what it is. It's a trade for a trade.
Yeah, it's insane to think about when you look at some of the things that the money's being spent on and some of the things that it has been spent on. So then the left decides to go on this. I think freaking Senator Crockett out of Texas. I think that's where she's at. She's a ghetto black lady that's in Congress right now. She's horrible, terrible person. But in my opinion, I mean, if you love her, then you love her. But it's she said that she don't want the checks and this and that and the third, and they start going at they're starting to compare. They're trying to compare these checks for stimulus checks that Biden cut out, and saying that they're inflammatory, like they're creating more inflation. And I'm fucking tired of explaining to people that this money has already been earmarked. This is not inflation producing money. It's money that's already caused the inflation it's going to cost. As a matter of fact, by giving it back to you, actually reverses the track on that inflation, because the money's just not. It's going back and then being spent into the economy. Yep. It's actually a reverse effect to the inflation that it caused by spending it, because it was going to be spent and leave our coffers. It was just going to go away. Mm-hmm. And now it's not going away. Now it's being spent and utilized by you, the citizen. So, which will be recircled, and at some point, it'll be, some of it will go for destruction and whatever, and just how the currencies flows, and then eventually, you get some reduction in the inflation. Another thing is that the other part of it that they're not going to give to you, they're going to use it to pay down on the deficit. So, and yeah, it may be a bucket, a drop in a bucket of water, but it's you got to start somewhere. Right. You got to start somewhere to pay down this debt, and it's got to get to a net positive. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get rid of your taxes ever. Right. The whole point to this whole DOGE thing, the net goal is to eradicate income tax of the citizenry altogether. If anything, the socialists should be ecstatic over this and support this, because that makes it easier for a socialist agenda to actually be implemented. If there's no national debt like that, or there's no income taxes to be freaking held, then you can do more social programs. And you can do more. In theory. In theory, you should be able to do more social programs, and you can actually run the cost for free health care. You can actually run the cost for some free educational programs. You can run the cost for a lot of socialist agenda type stuff that they know they're not going to get communism fucking through to us. That's not ever going to work. I wouldn't say ever, but it's not something that's easily passed here in the States. But some of the socialist agendas that they would like to propose could possibly benefit from that status of being in that situation, because people could be dependent on this stuff. There's a lot of things that this has many ripple effects are wide and generational. I think what these guys have set up and what they're starting to do is not is starting to look like something that's gonna take more than one administration to do. It's such a monumental task, and such a rigmarole of corruption and deception and people getting rich. And another thing DOGE is doing is they're starting to freaking question where the monies of some of these freaking congressmen and representatives came from, and how the hell did that happen, because some of these freaking expenditures are going towards super PACs, or they're going towards organizations that inevitably fund other shit. Freaking that lady from Georgia just got caught on some nonsense. The chick with the gap tooth, fat lady. Oh. No better than to ask you. You don't know nobody. Fucking,
From Georgia?
yeah,
Some representative?
yeah. I think she was Georgia.
Stacey Adams?
Stacey Adams. There we go. So,
Well, you're not going to know it.
yeah. Stacey Adams.
Or Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams. Okay, Stacey Abrams. Stacey Adams is some shoe place.
Yeah, Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams.
Georgia
Yeah.
House of Representatives.
Yeah, Biden sent $2 billion to Stacey Abrams in a linked group for a green energy scheme, according to the EPA. So it's so she got a grant for $2 billion to push that Green Deal agenda down in Georgia. $2 billion. One of the conditions for that $1 billion grant to be awarded was for that organization to take a budgeting class.
That's not a steep requirement.
You know, you got people that can't handle a budget. You're giving them $2 billion, man. Do you really care what happens to those $2 billion? You know you don't. That's why you're doing it. It's a payoff for some fucking reason, and they're gonna get to the bottom of it eventually. And at the same time, freaking, you got all this other shit happening on the externals. You know, freaking, we're trying to end this war in Ukraine, and which consistently gets fucking brought up. It's as if it were a fucking sport. Like, who's gonna win? You know, well, win.
Right.
Like that's the most tone deaf, unrealistic, ignorant fucking remark on war that I could ever fucking hear. It's like, who win? Fucking nobody wins. What are you talking about? Fucking people die on both sides, and the people that ordered the fucking war are still alive to tell this tale. So, who wins? You know what I mean? So, apparently Zelensky wasn't gonna freaking back down on. He thought he had leverage. I don't know where he fucking thought that. His whole country's subsidized by us.
Yeah. From top to bottom.
So I don't understand where he gets off thinking that he has anything to say in this. But the liberals, of course, like, he has something to say. I was like, you just, I, for one reason or another, I don't understand how these people could be so fucking war thirsty, and just like, oh, the Russians. Yeah, I get it. However, this has to stop. It has to stop because we can't pay for it no more, and something has to happen. Peace has to happen. So finally, I guess Zelensky relented and offers to resign his membership offer there, his thing for NATO, as part of to advance the peace talks, because that's one of the
things Russia won't give up on.
Yeah, one of the Russian. Yeah, so which is another thing that Russia doesn't have a say in it either, because Russia can't pretend to go into somebody else's country and tell them exactly what to do. That's how shit's done. But in the interest of securing some kind of lasting peace, that has to happen. So that was one of their hardline arrangements, and it was used as a pretext to war. So because Vladimir Putin's not a nice guy, so don't get it twisted. Dude's pretty crazy, but Elon Musk is going through all that, and then fucking. Did you catch any of that speech that Pete Hesketh
No.
Hesketh gave? No. He gave a fucking scathing freaking speech at the UN. Was it the UN? Yeah, I think so. Fucking, because Germany and some of these other countries are attacking free speech. They're jailing people for memes.
Sounds about par for the course at this point.
So a par for the course for Germany.
UK's been doing that shit for a couple of years now.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Germany, they pioneered it. There wasn't memes back then.
Yeah.
It's newspaper articles.
Yeah. It was like U.S. government workers must explain their work week or lose their jobs. So another round of some of the cuts from DOGE was in real estate. So some of these governmental agencies were holding on to big pieces of real estate when most of their workforce is working from home or doing remote work. Like there's nobody occupying these buildings and they're paying for that infrastructure, like as if they were there, and they're not fucking there. These buildings are empty. So, and it's all over the nation, like hundreds and hundreds of buildings that are unoccupied, relatively unoccupied, because people are working remotely. So, they're getting rid of that infrastructure since some of these people are not going to come back to work, because if they don't work remotely, they're not going to. A lot of them have moved.
Right.
A lot of them don't even live in the state
That's what I've heard,
of where the remote job initiated from.
Recently, I was talking to somebody. She had a job in New York, and then while she was doing that job, it was a remote paid job, and it was paying like fucking $95,000 a year.
Right.
Because she lived in fucking middle of damn New York, where a $95,000 a year salary ain't shit.
Right. That's what the base is.
While she was, when she first got that job, within the first month that she got that job, she moved from New York to Texas. Right. Where the really medium livable salary is like $40,000. Right. So now she's got a $95,000 paying job that's from New York, and she's doing it in Texas remotely, and living off a $95,000 a year job in middle of Central Texas. It's like, it's not bad. It's a pretty good scam if you can do it. But
I mean, it's not a scam. It's not a scam. It's just that's what they choose to pay you. Right. I mean, it's not a scam. But a lot of these freaking...
But the salary was dependent on where she lived, and that was New York.
Well, in the government, it's illegal because your salary also includes a cost of living housing allowance. Right. Cost of living allowance, a COLA. Yeah, COLA. So if your main office is based out of fucking Norfolk, then you're getting Norfolk prices. And if you decide to take your ass to fucking North Carolina or whatever and just based out of there, then guess what? You're stealing the COLA because you got to declare that you no longer rate that COLA. Right. Or in some cases it could increase depending on where you move. But either way, you got to declare that you're no longer physically in that place that's paying you the COLA for. So there's a lot of people are, one of the top searches for Google is in Washington D.C. I need a defense lawyer.
I need a defense lawyer.
It's one of the top searches that's on the top of the list of searches things most searched for on the internet in Washington D.C.
I mean, yeah.
I need a defense lawyer. Yeah, because you're fucking stealing. Did you see the real estate market
in D.C.?
Yeah.
Yeah, prices have gone down substantially.
Did you see the fucking vacancies?
Everything is being sold. Yeah.
The vacancies? The fucking Zillow is fucking crazy. It looks like a...
See, that I actually did see. So
That is insane. That is insane. So, people are running for the hills, man. Running for the hills.
The thing, I mean, guilty people don't, or innocent people don't run.
No.
What do I have to be afraid of? I didn't do anything wrong.
No.
But these people know they fucking broke the law. They have been breaking the law for years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I'll never understand it. But I mean, because here's the thing. When you commit crime, like at a regular basis, you know the clock is ticking. This is not something that's going to last. Right. This is not something that's going to last forever.
Every criminal that I know of, because, I mean, we both met career criminals.
Career criminals.
Actual career criminals. That is what they do for a living. And for the most part, as long as they're talking to law enforcement, they know they're talking to a badge, they know they're talking to a uniform, they're respectful, they're polite, or they just don't talk to you.
Yeah.
It's either or. Yeah. So these guys that have made their lives all about crime and have developed a business in the criminal sphere of existence, they know what they're doing is illegal. They don't care. Every one of them I've ever talked to have a commonality among all of them, and all of them have pockets of legal money that they keep away for when they get arrested, because being arrested is a part of their business. At one, it's another opportunity to network.
Yeah.
I remember having that conversation with the guy when I worked in a jail. It's another opportunity to network. Two, it's an opportunity to get refamiliarized with the current laws.
They catch their legislative update. Yeah. They catch their legislative update when they get arrested.
You also get more familiar with the officers that are currently working the streets.
They get to know who surrounds that PD or that county, and they get an intel dump is what they get. So and a lot of them come out of jail better criminals than what they went in. Yeah. If they're career criminals. Now, if they're just your regular fucking pickpocketer dude or whatever, or armed robbery guy, that guy didn't learn shit. And he'll probably go back to jail doing the same shit. But we're talking about organized crime dudes that went into jail, that knew they were going to go to jail at some point. They know the clock's ticking. So it's insane to me to watch these freaking people scurry like the lights came on, and it's you're doing crime. You should be freaking setting yourself up for success for a life after crime, so you can end doing crime and continue living your life without ever being caught. It's just the greed gets a hold of them, or the power gets a hold of them, and they can't freaking let it go. And they know the shit's gonna end, but they know it in the back of their head, but they can't stop.
Right.
So they just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And now the freaking lights in the kitchen turn on, and all the roaches are running, and it's freaking really, really sad to watch, because a lot of these people, they keep talking about Elon Musk not being elected to and I'm like, well,
most of the government isn't,
and I'm like, yeah, that's what he's getting rid of, the bureaucracy. So you're using bureaucracy to kill bureaucracy. He's been appointed by the President of the United States, who has executive power over the executive branch. He's using those powers to grant permissions as a special government employee to eradicate this nonsense. He also has the ability of granting clearances and permissions to people working under that branch. Another thing I'll tell you is that freaking DOGE is an agency that already existed. It was created by Obama in 2008 to freaking take care of the freaking nonsense that was the freaking office of whatever the fuck for the when they were implementing freaking healthcare for all. This thing was created as part of that apparatus to fucking do all the IT work. So it's not a new agency. It's an agency that's been rebranded and with new people at the head of it and with new employees, and it's just doing a better job now at what it was already designed to do, that apparently somebody told Obama to pump the brakes on. So what are we fucking getting at here? Just let them fucking cook, man. It's game over. Whatever the fuck you had going on, I was telling the guys, it's like the best thing that some of these politicians could do is fucking try to get prosecutorial immunity and just turn state.
One, good luck. Two, you might as well just plead out.
You should. I think you should. If I was in the middle of all this, me personally, I wouldn't be. Even if I were in the middle of all this, I would have been long gone. You'd never find me. But neither here or there. But let's say I didn't have all this knowledge, and I was in the middle of all this. I'd try to. It'd be a race to turn state. Because the early worm gets the bird. The early bird gets the worm. So. I try to freaking beat everybody to turning state. You know what I mean? I turn snitch so fast it wouldn't be fuck. You'd be like Speedy Gonzalez, bro. It'd just be a cloud of dust and little feet. my rat tail. So I turn rat fucking quicker than shit. You're looking at some of these sentences could be life. And if you're 40 plus, it's over. You know what I mean? You can't do 30 years.
No.
You can't do 30 years. You're fucking toast, bro. You're gonna get out just in time to fucking jump into your grave. If you get out at all. You know, so it's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? So their best bet is to go ahead and turn state and try to get prosecutorial immunity. As a matter of fact, if I was DOGE or a big honcho at fucking DOGE, that's what I would try to float to the president to offer prosecutorial immunity to some of these fucking biggest offenders so we can expedite this process.
Right. And
get these people removed from Congress, because that would be part of the deal for immunity. You want immunity? I got you immunity. But you're done. You're done. You're done.
No other public offices.
No more public offices. No more nothing. You know what? The money you got is the money you got.
Yeah.
That's it. We're not going to fuck with that. You got $100 million in the bank? Fine. You got immunity. Keep the money. We don't give a shit. However, help us fucking get rid of this shit. And you're done. No more fucking life, public jobs with the government. None of that. No consulting. Nothing. You can't fucking sit on a stage. You can't write a book. You can't. Nothing. Nothing. You get nothing. You get the money you already stole. You get to keep. Fine. Keep it. Help us get rid of this motherfucker, and you work for us now. For free.
Yeah.
We ain't paying you a fucking dime. I'd do to them what they fucking did to Vic Mackey and the Shield. Same shit. Prosecutorial immunity, and they fucking chained them to a goddamn desk to fucking weed out corruption and work with the fucking police. Yeah. That's what I would do to these motherfuckers. So, it's, because it would expedite things greatly if we had their cooperation. Instead
mass blanket immunity like they do in fucking RICO cases.
Instead of them fucking doing a press conference outside of the building that they've been stealing money from for decades and then talking shit. How the fuck is Adam Schiff going to stand in front of FBI headquarters and talk shit about the director of the FBI? Are you fucking retarded? You should be the quietest motherfucker in Congress right now. They should be. You shouldn't fucking say a fucking word. Your ass should be fucking deleting files, flushing fucking phones on the toilets. You should be fucking covering your electronic footprints. What you should be doing to minimize the impact. That's what you should be doing. Instead of fucking doing public appearances and talking shit like nothing's going to happen to you. Are you fucking insane? The director of the FBI is a former whistleblower lawyer that's now the director.
Yeah.
One of his best friends is the fucking attorney general. Pam Bondi and fucking Kash Patel, friends. Dude, you're fucked. You're fucked. The moment they get one little fucking thread, they're gonna pull on that and make a sweater out of you. It's not, what the fuck are you doing, Adam Schiff? Shut the fuck up. You're already res gestae, bro.
Yep.
It's done. Everything you say will be used against you in a court of law. You should be fucking lawyering up. That's what you should be doing. And shutting the fuck up. Stop doing the fucking public appearances. Because squeaky wheel gets the fucking oil. Nail that sticks out gets the hammer. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's insane. And he's just talking shit. That's how ignorant he is. He's so fucking stupid. He thinks he's gonna skate on this.
Well, fucking let him. He's not making his own bed, so
you're not skating on this, dude. They're gonna fucking ruin your reputation at the very least. So, at best, you have a reputation to hit. Come on, man. Like it's fucking crazy. But they sitting there doing fucking press conferences, talking fucking 10 kinds of crazy. And they're already freaking releasing the damn Epstein papers, and apparently fucking they released there's a bunch of emails with Adam Schiff and Epstein. Fucking apparently Adam Schiff and Jeffrey Epstein been fucking email pen pals for a hot minute, and that's already coming out. And dude, they got him roped into a lot of stuff. You've heard very little from Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, recently. Yeah.
Recently.
The only Democrat I've heard that's actually been a little bit outspoken is fucking, what's his name? Schumer.
Yeah, Chuck Schumer.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Chucky's in a bind too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's about the only one that I've seen that's been up in the podiums and fucking talking. So.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Ilhan Omar is in a fucking bind too. A fucking Somali freaking broad from Minnesota. Yeah. She's in a bind too. Because apparently she married her brother for, which we've known that's been years, a thing. Yeah. But the Biden fucking DOJ didn't want to do anything with it. But apparently she's got a charge of perjury because she said that when she filed for divorce of her, alleged brother, she says that she hadn't seen him since 2011, but records show that he was evicted from a residence 10 blocks down the street from her in 2012. So, like, you haven't seen him in how many years? It's like 3-4 years you haven't seen him. She tried to file one of those divorces for absentee, like he just like abandoned
he just
her.
Left, yeah.
Like she tried to file one of those, but he lived like down the street. So, you know, I guess she thought all Somalis looked the same. That's what she was banking on. That's your defense. That's your defense. That's what you're leaning on. Oh, they'll never discover him. He looks just like me. They all look alike. This is a Somali freaking town. The fuck out of here. I was like, so they're digging, and it don't look pretty at all. I don't know what these people fucking think. Then of course the Delta airliner, the freaking.
Yeah, went down in Alaska.
Yeah, that apparently fucking some lady decided to park upside down. It's like
I was surprised how much footage of that came out.
Yeah.
Like, God damn.
Yeah.
Y'all little bastards just standing on the tarmac, just like, oh fuck.
Well, that pilot slammed into that runway like it was looking for an arrestor cable in a carrier. No nose up attitude, like it was just level slam. It's almost like it didn't know how high it was, like it was just flying pure instruments, not a clue of how high in the ground they were, high off the ground they were. I don't know. I'm not a pilot, but they did fucking slam into the freaking earth, kind of uncharacteristically. But another 2 airliners have gone down with very little fanfare. A Delta flight from Los Angeles had to make an emergency landing due to smoke on board. And then another flight from New York to Delhi had to make an unscheduled land in Rome. But I'm not entirely sure what the hell's going on with our aviation. But of course, SecDef fucking got rid of the Air Force freaking Joint Chair, Air Force fucking Chief of Staff. Mm-hmm. Got rid of that dude. The DEI dude.
Yeah. I think they got rid of the position itself. It's like
no, you got rid of.
You can't get rid of the position. Yeah, the dude.
Got rid of that dude. He was setting quotas on white officers.
Yep, you can only have so many.
You only have so many white officers. Isn't that crazy?
I thought that was the rule anyway. I didn't know that was a new thing.
What the fuck?
That was a DEI thing? I thought it was just, it was just the military.
No, not all platoon sergeants have to be Puerto Rican, bro.
So, let's see here. My first platoon sergeant was white. Every other platoon sergeant I ever had was black. Every other tank commander I've ever had was black.
Oh shit!
Only one of my platoon leaders was white. Every other one was black. Varying grades of good or piece of shit, but I mean, just like
yeah.
It's like most of them were black. Most of my leaders in the military were black.
Yeah.
So, first platoon leader, fucking Lieutenant Stewart, great officer. I thought he was a great officer.
Hey, that's all right. We had I've had quite a few of all different colors and whatever, and they've been all right. I mean, it's that shit's fucking funny. But yeah, they got rid of him, and I just think it's funny that coming from a segregated military and how far we've come, where the black guy gets to say, "Okay, that's enough, white people." It's like it's been 50 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
when was desegregation? What,
that's
1948?
I guess. I
think
mean, it was 1948.
It was under Truman.
It's fucking milestone, bro.
Yeah.
Like 40 some years, you get a black guy with stars going like, yeah, it's too many white people, bro. Like, I should cut that shit out. Fucking. You can have as many enlisted white dudes as you want, but officers, I don't know. We're gonna have to retire a few before you can go blue to gold or whatever the fuck they call it. You know, in the Air Force. That's fucking crazy, dude. You know, so he got fucking bounced. Apparently, the American Airlines flight was diverted because of a potential security threat. FAA report, coordinating local authorities. Possible safety concern. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of spotlight on the aviation industry. That's why you're seeing a lot of these aviation stories. It's they're just under the limelight right now. So, especially after two pretty much back-to-back fucking air catastrophes,
right.
And, you're gonna get some of that. But yeah, it's and have you seen
Probably not.
the press secretary, our new press secretary?
Like her face, or
Like all of her, like her.
like what she does.
Yeah.
No. I've seen what she looks like. That's about it.
Yeah. Have you heard her speak at all?
No.
On anything?
No.
So, a lot of this stuff happens while you're sitting in your docking station charging.
Hey, look, man. I told you that in confidence.
So, this guy has a very, very busy schedule. So a lot of the fun part of this podcast is also catching him up.
Yeah.
On the news, so catching you guys up on some of the news, but catching him up because he wants to know really, really bad.
Well, that's the thing. This is my thing.
He wants to know. This is his thing. He's the political science major. I actually
enjoy it. I didn't do political science because I had to. I wanted to.
I've had many declared majors, none finished, and it's funny because I have a little bit more time to go through this stuff than he does. He's far busier than I am. And it's funny because this is his shtick, and
yeah.
and
I have no idea.
And he's like
not a clue what's going on.
Oblivious, which is kind of how I wish I were, you know, because a lot of this stuff could be highly depressing, you know, when you look at it. It's just kind of like, oh my god, like
depressing.
But you know, looking at it now and looking at all the positives, you know, that are in the horizon, you start to kind of have you can't help but feel optimistic, you know, about certain things, you know. You just kind of like, but our press secretary, man, she says some of the, like, she talks, she makes more sense than Trump, but talks about as open as he does.
Right.
So if that makes any sense, like she's very open, but she doesn't make any analogies that could be taken off of context, and you know what I mean. Like the media, the way Trump talks like a guy his age.
Right.
Uses a lot of synonyms for a lot of things. You know, a lot of allegories or whatever, just stories
Right.
to kind of illustrate the point. And number one, because he's an entertainer, so when he talks to you, he tries to entertain whoever he's got. And once he's got a crowd, he didn't quite realize that some of that crowd would literally watch him die. Like, it just like some of that crowd is just, they fucking can't stand him. But he's trying to entertain, so he says a lot of fucking goofy shit. And this isn't me trying to justify any of the fucking nonsense that man has said, because he said a lot of fucking dumb shit through the years. But this lady talks as open as he does, but without all the storytelling. She's very factual, as to the best of her knowledge, and to the point.
Right.
And it comes off like just like a fucking cruise missile. Every time somebody says something fucking retarded, and she'll tell you, like, I've answered that question 3 times today. It's what I told you that it was, you know, and just hammers it home. I said, that's what it is. So there. All right, next question. You know, and she doesn't. So far, from what I've seen, she doesn't have a habit of putting pins on questions and never readdressing them. Like, she usually has all the answers for the questions that are being asked. It's not like, oh, let's circle back to that when, you know, next time I come back, or whatever, or I'll get with you later, or whatever. You know, none of that bullshit.
Yeah,
she usually just, I know, yes, I know it, no, I don't know it.
Right.
Like, it's
a definitive answer.
Yeah, it's a definitive answer. Like, she either knows it or she doesn't fucking know it. So you get what you get, you know. She's very direct. You should check out some of her freaking press conferences on YouTube. I'm sure they're doing a highlight reel on that that's already exists, because it's epic, man. The shit that she says is pretty fucking. She comes out pretty pungent if you're one of them freaking green hair weirdos, you know, on the left, that just like, you probably wouldn't know how to take that, and they're like, fuck. But
what the fuck is it? Caroline Leavitt?
Caroline who? Caroline
Leavitt?
Let's see.
Yeah, Caroline Leavitt.
Yeah, 11. She's like 27.
Yeah. 27.
Mm-hmm.
Where's she from?
Heaven.
Went to St. Anselm College. That tells me nothing.
Yeah, she's
from New Hampshire.
She's pretty brutal, the way she lets people have it. It's quite funny. But
Oh yeah, there's already highlight reels.
what's up?
There's already highlight reels.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm telling you, she's pretty rough and tumble, man. Some of the shit she puts out is pretty amazing. But let me see, what else did we have of note, like, this week? That was
the biggest one we were doing was the DOGE thing. That's
the DOGE thing was that's just fucking
huge, and it's still ongoing.
It's an ongoing thing. So another one of the reasons we also took a break is just to kind of let some of this stuff mature, because the news is also evolving so much and so rapid.
The drone stuff came out.
The drone stuff.
Yeah, there are drones, but beyond that, it's like, yeah, there are drones.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all. That's the only word I remember getting was, yeah, they're U.S. drones.
Yeah,
they're part of like a training thing.
I told you that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it came out of the news. So.
Yeah, but it's what I told you. Like, my sources.
Like, now it's public information.
Yeah, now it's public information, but we covered it on the last one. I said what it could be, but I got sources, and you know, and we talk, and you know, and it is what it is. But but yeah, they had He had quite a bit of information on that. But I mean, this is definitely a 2.0 organization that's running this country now, compared to Trump fucking 1.0, which was very naive and
Yeah, I'd say so. He had a lot of people that
idealistic.
backstabbed his ass.
Yeah, well, I mean, they withheld information from him. They would withhold intel. You know, they would do things, you know, to undermine him at every step of the way. So he's getting rid of all that. Yeah, so loyalty is a big deal with this man. Why? Because the first administration, he had a lot of people that were recommended by other pundits and turned out to be fucking bunch of backstabbing freaking sons of bitches that were more in line with the status quo. So, I mean, but with this administration and the push that Elon Musk is given and some of these other freaking super friends that are in the White House now, it's starting to look like a lot of things can change for the better. So I hope some of you freaking liberals that are out there, if you ever get a hold of this podcast, you know, don't be too nasty to me. It'll be all right. When you get your freaking stimulus check from monies that have already aligned for, you can grab that stimulus check and do your fucking drag queen story hour wherever the fuck you want to do it. But it's no longer going to be funded by the government. It's going to be your money personally. So if you want to do that with your personal funds, by all means. But it's it's a real effort being done to add representation to your taxation, which is super important. And them trying to lower that freaking debt. People were like bitching like 2 weeks in. I was like, eggs are expensive. Yeah, they've been expensive. It's been expensive. Fucking 2 weeks. They've been killing birds in Georgia like crazy. Fucking.
That was another thing that fucking went down. It was like 4 million fucking chickens.
Yeah.
Got fucking nixed because of bird flu fears.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mayhem, dude. Come on. Like, a lot of things got to change. You got to fucking change the price of energy in order for everything to drop. And energy, I don't mean like electricity. I mean fucking like fuel and stuff like that. Everything's transported. As long as fucking those costs stay high, guess what? Your eggs are still going to be expensive. So.
Yeah.
Press secretary said, confident in the ability to strike a deal with Russia to end the Ukrainian conflict this week. And then, of course, Israel, which goes back to some of the shit, me saying that Donald Trump says a lot of dumb shit. So, he literally said that we were going to own Gaza and fucking do. That's not the deal. That's not happening. So what he should have been fucking saying is what they actually plan on doing, which is funny, it is hilarious. He can't even joke about shit like that because it just comes off fucking weird and people take off with it and.
That's why I find it's funny though.
It's hilarious.
People take off with it. And it's like, oh my god,
he's gotta take over, put boots on the ground. They were asking about boots on the ground and fucking. I was like, dude, there's been boots on the ground in Israel since the 40s. What are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about? I got friends over there now, on the ground. So yeah, the fuck are you yammering about? We've had boots on the ground in Israel forever. So it's just. Fucking stupid questions that fucking liberals ask, like, oh, dude. So what he should have fucking said is that they want to remove all the residents from Gaza, give them temporary housing in other countries, so they can rebuild that freaking shithole because it's been razed to the ground by bombing. Mm-hmm. It's a fucking pile of rubble. Yeah. The whole place is a pile of rubble. It's a steaming pile of rubble. There's no power, there's no water, there's no nothing. They want to fucking bulldoze that fucking area, bulldoze it clean and rebuild it so people can actually live in it and be prosperous in it. Not live like in a goddamn Flintstones village fucking and try to figure out fucking how to survive with no fucking power and no water. That's what he should have said, but he's Trump, so he's got a fucking. We're gonna put a fucking. It's gonna be the new Riviera. God damn it. Yeah. So people are like, we're not gonna leave. And then the Canadians were all pissed off not too long ago because they thought they were gonna be annexed.
Annexed, yeah.
I was like, you fucking retards. I was like, you dumbasses. I was like, have you, it's kind of like arguing before a fight. Sometimes people say all kinds of shit before a fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a negotiation tactic to go fucking over the wall with some enormous to actually get your say in. Like, for instance, I'm gonna fucking annex the shit out of your country. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then Denmark starts doing the right thing by Greenland. All of a sudden, it starts actually living up to the agreements that they had with Greenland. And because they don't want to fucking lose Greenland to the United States. But at the same time, we get a couple concessions for what we actually wanted, because what we actually wanted was something else related to trade and trade routes.
Right.
And the expulsion, or just basically sending that area immunities to that area from foreign influence like China, or Russia. So we wanted to dominate those trade routes, and for our freaking costs, we're getting that. Of course, the threat was much worse, but come on, was that ever on the table? Maybe. But it's up to them to call him on that bluff, and they can't call him on that bluff because they had nothing to retort with. They know they have no they have no military. They have no, what are you gonna do? You have nothing. So, you can sanction them for what? So we just won't get chocolates. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing there. So, same thing with fucking Canada. If you don't unfuck your border and get to fucking work on this fentanyl bullshit and all the cartels that are using our northern accesses to freaking destroy our nation, we're gonna fucking annex you. It'll be fucking 51st state. We'll fix it. Guess what? They're fucking deploying freaking troops and fucking border people to the border and fucking cracking down on immigration in the northern border and starting to freaking build these task forces that'll fucking start working the drug trade up north and all this other shit. It's
to act right.
You gotta fucking threaten them to say something, but the liberals are like, oh my god, he's an imperialist, colonist, fucking misogynistic, fucking fascist, fucking blah blah blah, whatever the fuck fucking word they've been trained to say. And I was like, dude, just listen. He's negotiating, dude. He's negotiating.
Yeah.
He'll go on national TV, call the fucking dictator of fucking North Korea fucking little rocket man, and fucking insult the fuck out of him in public, and then go over there and fucking tell him to his face to fucking cut it the fuck out or whatever the fuck, and then he cuts it the fuck out. It's just, come on, man. That's how he negotiates, man. He's very brash. He's from New York, old school New York. So this is a guy that negotiated with the mob. Had to. How do you think those guys fucking do business deals? I mean, build the New York skyline in a place where you can mix a bag of concrete without their say-so. How do you think that got done? Wasn't by being a fucking pussy. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, so...
There have been movies made about the time that he was in New York fucking doing his fucking shit. Doing those fucking property improvements and fucking real estate developments and shit like that. Who the fuck was in charge of the families back then when he was doing it? John Gotti.
Yeah. Yeah, Teflon Don. Yeah.
John Gotti. One of the most famous mobsters in American history.
Come on, man.
John Gotti was like out there as fuck. He pissed off a lot of the fucking families because he was so out. He didn't give a shit who knew he was a gangster. Mm-hmm. He's John fucking Gotti. Mm-hmm. That's the guy that Trump was dealing with probably the most to do his property development. It was John fucking Gotti. What do you expect?
You expect a guy to learn how to negotiate with guys like that?
With John Gotti.
To fucking walk on eggshells for you? For you?
I've thought about that quite a bit. It's like,
come on.
When he was a young man, when he was doing his up and coming stuff, when he was making his wealth. I was like, yeah, he got a loan from his dad. He started his own company. He fucking
making his bones.
He started fucking doing his property development and shit like that. Cause that's where he saw where the money was at, and he was successful.
Mm-hmm.
How? Because you're absolutely right. You have to do business with the mob.
Have to
in New York if you're going to do business at all.
This pre-Rudolph Giuliani, pre-Rico.
Yeah. All that shit. So I mean,
you have to.
Who was in charge of the fucking families? Who was the most out there guy? It was John fucking Gotti. This motherfucker learned how to fucking work deals with John Gotti.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made him what he is. Fucking. That's why he talks the way he talks. That's why he does the things the way he does them. That's why he talks to these fucking ridiculously powerful fucking people in the world like he owns them. It's because he's used to doing deals with John Gotti.
It's the same reason how he'll fucking meet Vladimir Putin, shake his hand, and fucking yank him yank a fucking ex-KGB assassin dude. Fucking
as much as you might know
just to show you my strength.
Yeah. Because Putin's a dangerous motherfucker. Yeah. He is truly dangerous. However, Trump is twice his size. So.
Yeah, it's just the domineering effect. I think it's his. Some of that is kind of what rubs people the wrong way. His how dominant he is when it comes to fucking getting on the mic and saying shit. But there's a lot of shit that he fucking said, and a lot of shit that he has done in the past that I don't fucking like one bit.
Right.
But I have these discussions with my mom all the time. My mom can't stand his ass, and but she also looks at the policies and the outcome of some of his decisions and weighs that against how much I don't like the person.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're trying to freaking bring to people. We're trying to get people to do your own research. Go in there and look. It should not be a popularity contest. It should not be we need to fucking break that mold of what it means to be actually presidential in that outward appearance, and actually get down to the nitty-gritty on what's supposed to be presidential, which is a person that brings good policies forward and helps the population and does a lot more than these other guys have been doing forever, which is pocketing money and helping their friends, getting rich on your back,
right,
and then leaving you with fucking nothing. I mean, this is happening with DOGE now, but how many fucking people could have had a better life that didn't get a chance to because of all that bullshit? How many people fucking lived their entire life, worked their entire life, retired, died without ever fucking tasting the good life because these fucking politicians fucking robbed from them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Robbed from them. Robbed their whole life. They don't give a fuck. USAID got in a fucking scandal back in the day. They got swept under the fucking rug, and it's starting to recently fucking resurface about fucking leaving bodies from World War II veterans and fucking overseas and not bringing them back for cost cutting.
Right.
They did the same thing with alleged fucking Vietnam POWs that were left behind. That apparently fucking their bodies were left behind, and Vietnamese government didn't know what to do with them. There was apparently some live POWs that they didn't want the bad press and they didn't want to deal with it anymore. The war had ended, and they just fucking released them into the population. They're like, hey, you're free. We got no charges on you. They said the war's over, and they just fucking abandoned by the country, decided to make their own lives over there, and they fucking stayed there. I mean, dude, when you read shit like that, that's been going on forever, and it's been the topic of many fucking movies from the 80s.
Yep.
So when you read shit like that, and then you look at the organizations that are responsible for this kind of fucking nonsense, you gotta fucking sit back and think, man. It's like, am I really looking for that square jaw action hero, fucking 6'2" fucking dude that talks nice, slick back hair, fucking dresses nice, talks nice, has the beautiful wife, and nothing of substance? You know what I mean?
Right.
He talks right when he's supposed to. I never hear him say a wrong word. Fucking everything is picture perfect. That's a veneer. That's not a president. This dude that we got here apparently shows you all his fucking shows you his laundry. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just just how it is, man. Just the policies are what matter. And I've voted Democrat in the past, and it's what I understood. What my understanding was of certain things. So it's what it is. You got to look at the policies, look at the more than what the guy is actually doing. It's like, oh, well, he's a fucking misogynistic. Yeah, he's a billionaire. What do you think's gonna fucking happen when he doesn't drink? He allegedly doesn't drink. He allegedly doesn't smoke. Those are things I take allegedly because I've told a bunch of people I don't fucking smoke, and I told a bunch of people I don't drink, and there's every now and then I'll have a little something. So that's allegedly,
right.
But that don't make me fucking. The fact that I don't do any of those things, that don't make me fucking shit. That's not. It's just kind of look at what he brings to the table. Not the veneer they're showing you. What they're showing you is an actor.
Yeah.
It's AOC knows all about that. She answering a casting call to fucking be where she's at today, and now she's out there fucking talking all kinds of stupid.
Worth
in public.
$20 million.
Worth. Well, I don't know how much she's worth, but I know that when she came on, what is it, 5 years now that she's been on? 4 years? She couldn't afford rent. And
I'm glad I only got to Google like 3 letters for this one.
Yeah.
Assumed office in 2019.
Yeah. When she got on 2019, she didn't have a pot to piss in.
Well, she was working as a bartender, so.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what she's worth.
That's what strippers usually say.
That's what strippers.
I tend bar.
Yeah.
You show your tits. Just say. I get it. It's a stigma, but
yeah. I don't think she was a stripper though.
Nah, probably not.
But
I've got a little bit more respect for her than that. Intelligence-wise, no, not really. But self-respect-wise, I'm sure she respects herself more than somebody who just goes out and shows her tits.
I don't know.
I'd like to. I'd like to think that she has more self-respect than that.
I don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth. Let's just say that every time.
I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Let's just say that for some fucking odd reason, every time her physical security becomes a part of a conversation, rape always pops up.
It's true.
As a topic.
Yeah.
Every time a conversation involving her goes into her physical security, rape pops up. By her. Not by anybody, but by her. She brings it up every fucking time. So, you know what I mean? You remember that adage about that guy whose fucking jokes always go gay?
Mm-hmm. Probably gay.
That dude probably gay. Yeah. So, I'm just saying. It's, I don't believe a fucking word she says. Fuck. But anyway, that's all I got, man. You got anything?
No.
All right, we can end it here and then hit you guys up fucking in a couple weeks. Maybe we'll know more. We'll get some more out of this this freaking crazy show that's happening. So till then, like, subscribe, don't forget. And
we're on YouTube, X, Spotify.
Freaking, you name it, man. We're on Samsung freaking Music, Amazon Music. Yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah, we're everywhere, bro. We're everywhere. Nobody knows that we're everywhere, but but we're everywhere. Nobody listens to us, but it's like not at all. But hey, fuck it, man. I'm having fun.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Y'all take care, man.
I would like to recognize Mr. Goodman to please begin your opening statement.
Thank you. Chairwoman Mace, Ranking Member Brown, and distinguished members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to testify today. As the chairwoman mentioned, it's my birthday, and this is the greatest gift I could possibly ask for. My name is Justin Goodman, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Advocacy and Public Policy at the nonprofit, nonpartisan government watchdog White Coat Waste Project. White Coat Waste has one mission: to stop taxpayers from being forced to pay for cruel, wasteful, inefficient, and dangerous animal experiments in labs around the world. Lab survivors Nellie, Beasley, and Oliver, sitting behind me, are three of the many reasons why. Many people don't realize that the U.S. government is not only the single largest funder of animal testing in the country, but in the world. Uncle Sam outspends the private sector on animal testing 2 to 1. This isn't something to be proud of. Over 20 years ago, the NIH budget doubled and animal testing skyrocketed, but overall, people aren't healthier or living longer. It is estimated that over $20 billion a year of taxpayers' money is still wasted annually on ineffective and inhumane tests on tens of millions of puppies, kittens, and other animals. Am I being flippant when I use the word waste? Absolutely not. The NIH itself has said, quote, animal models fail to mimic disease or predict how drugs will work in humans, resulting in much wasted time and money, end quote. Yet agencies continue to dump billions of tax dollars into animal tests despite the horrible return on investment. Experiments we've uncovered range from the savage to the stupid, injecting puppies with cocaine, staging hamster fight clubs, putting dead turtles on treadmills. One of the reasons this problem has gotten so out of control is a stunning lack of innovation, transparency, and accountability. Agencies do not report or even track in some cases how much money is being spent, how many animals are used, what's being done to them, where, and what taxpayers are getting out of it. We file hundreds of FOIA requests every year to glean just basic information. When we can find out how tax dollars are being spent, it becomes apparent why federal agencies fight against disclosing details. For example, Senator Rand Paul's December 2024 Festivus report highlighted cruel taxpayer-funded cat experiments exposed by my organization. In one $10 million DARPA grant, cats have marbles shoved up their rectums and are electroshocked to make them defecate in constipation experiments. We've also recently identified over $240 million in NIH grants for transgender animal experiments, including $26 million in active funding. Some of these tests, as the chairwoman mentioned, examine the effects of party drugs on animals injected with testosterone and how hormones used for human gender transitions impact the size and shape of animals' genitals. How does this translate to helping the average American? Shockingly, 95% of this funding came from Dr. Fauci's NIAID. Speaking of Dr. Fauci, our group is perhaps best known for exposing his and USAID's funding for dangerous gain-of-function animal experiments at the Wuhan lab. We also uncovered his support for cruel beagle tests around the world. Taxpayer-funded animal tests may have caused COVID. Unfortunately, the government hasn't learned its lesson from what happened in Wuhan. Today, there are still 26 animal labs in China, including labs controlled by the Chinese Communist Party and tied to the military, approved to receive NIH funding. This isn't just a misuse of taxpayer dollars, but presents a national security threat. White Coat Waste recently obtained a contract funded by the NIH and DOD that's paying for 300 beagles a week to be restrained and injected with or force-fed experimental drugs in a Chinese lab. The reason they chose beagles like Nellie, Oliver, and Beasley, the contract states, and I quote, "Beagle dogs are docile, cute, and easy to domesticate, so it has been the best choice," end quote. Not because it's effective, but because it's easy. This issue extends beyond China. 344 animal labs in 52 foreign countries are approved currently to receive NIH funding. GAO audits prompted by White Coat Waste have found that NIH shipped billions to foreign animal labs with essentially no oversight, that the NIH has never visited a foreign animal lab in over 40 years of overseeing research, and that some foreign spending isn't even tracked. This is how some spending in Wuhan went undisclosed. And no surprise, Dr. Fauci's division of NIH is responsible for 95% of the foreign aid. Continuing to send tax dollars to an authoritarian adversary's animal labs is a recipe for disaster. With Chairwoman Mace's leadership, we've been able to halt plans for wasteful and cruel testing on dogs and cats and other Fauci-funded labs. These tests should have been approved in the first place and were only deemed unnecessary after we exposed them. Our campaigns and legislative work with the chairwoman, Reps. Boebert, Kano, Luna, and many others exposed and shuttered waste like the government's largest cat lab that was feeding kittens kitten meat from Chinese wet markets. Yes, that's true. That was a cannibalism experiment. Eliminating VA testing on dogs and cats and ending nicotine tests on monkeys at the FDA. But there's much more work to be done. Taxpayers shouldn't be forced to pay billions of dollars every year for outdated, cruel, and potentially dangerous animal experiments, especially when most people oppose them. We're excited to work with you, DOGE, the administration, and others to continue cutting wasteful spending on animal experiments. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today on my birthday. I look forward to your questions.
Thank you. I recognize Dr. Locke to please begin your opening statement.